Hi folks, it's Andy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. A quick video for you today. I did say I would do this, as I did with the All Japan Championships a couple of weeks ago. The weekend just gone saw the All Japan Invitational 8th Dan tournament, or 8th Dan Invitational tournament. I can't remember which way they phrase it now, but basically it's a tournament. I did a video the other day about it, actually going through the program as well. Of the competitors, but it's selected 8th dans from around Japan. I think they've got to have held 8th dan for 4 or 5 years, and under the age of 65 I think is the criteria, but they are sort of selected to participate. Last year's tournament was of course cancelled because of the pandemic, and now the 2021 edition happened just the other day. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the Ippons, the scoring points from round 3 through to the final. I'm not going to do the whole lot because it'll just take too long, but this video is from the All Japan Kendo Federation channel. There'll be a link in the description and stuff like that. So we'll go through and have a quick look and a bit of an analysis of some of the Ippons. Don't forget, if you like the channel, you like the videos I put out for free, support us, like, sharing and subscribing, of course, but most importantly by shopping at KendoStar.com. That's my website that provides amazing, wonderful, awesome Kendo equipment. So not only do you help out the channel, you get awesome equipment for yourself as well, so everybody wins. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So you should be able to see on the sort of screen there on the right hand side in white the player, and they've got the names in English as well, which is handy. That's Hideyuki Eiga sensei, the older brother of the very famous Naoki Eiga sensei, who was the previous winner of this tournament. And then we have Etsuro Matsushita sensei. Okay, so in red. Let's get straight into this. I hope you can hear this okay. Just make sure the so like I say, Eiga sensei in white here. Of course, these are 8th dan top level sensei, so it's not the same sort of high paced combat that you get from high school tournaments or even the All Japan Championships. Lots of semi. Wow, look at that ski, fantastic ski. So here, this is really quite interesting. So what we have is, you see how Eiga sensei uses the shinai to apply semi from below here, and he causes Matsushita sensei to follow and sort of lower his kamae slightly, and because he's coming from underneath this way, so it looks almost like he's going to come for kote, but obviously it's not entirely obvious, but it looks like he's going to kind of come for kote. So Matsushita sensei starts to defend by he follows the shinai to kind of guard his kote, but actually he comes up and hits that perfect ski. So fantastic sort of display of semi there to open up that ski. He knows he's got him, eh? Can't really argue with that one, unfortunately. And then straight on from that, we get the next one. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Kote Suriage Men, I think. Let's have a look. So, right from the start, they sort of come together, and Matsushita sensei does this sort of katsugi here, and Eiga sensei does this sort of block to kind of defend both his kote and his men here. And the kote strike, of course, is unsuccessful, but Eiga sensei is able to immediately respond with a men strike. Okay, it's a fantastic kote suriage men. Watch it one more time. Brilliant, brilliant. Really, really nice. So he's defending this way, okay? Notice he's not defending this way, so that he's able to instantly retaliate like that. Brilliant. So next we have Yamamoto Sensei in red with Takeuchi Sensei in white. Yamamoto Sensei, the Jordan player. A lot of tension, obviously. Yamamoto Sensei is just so good at controlling the Maai, the distance, even from Jordan. That's the real skill of Jordan is controlling that Maai, even though you're not having contact with the Shinai. But there, as you can see, sort of went for that kote and received the Ojiwaza in return. And it was almost like an Atoichi, right? In this case, rather than the Ojiwaza. He comes for the kote. And I think that Takeuchi Sensei thought that it was probably more likely going to come for men. That's why he raised his hand so high. But the kote, of course, was a bit off target and not fully committed to, right? Which I think is a sort of mistake that Yamamoto Sensei would probably agree that he made there. And obviously left himself open for that instantaneous almost retaliation from Takeuchi Sensei. It's not quite the same as Ojiwaza because it's not like he got him to attack and then pam sort of instantly struck back. It's more that sort of Yamamoto Sensei's attack was unsuccessful and then immediately there was a chance after it. Pam, this way. Okay. Very nice example of Atoichi Ippon. So next we've got Kurita Sensei and Yoshida Sensei. Very strong kamae, as you would expect, of course, from this level of shiai. Kurita Sensei slightly misreading Yoshida Sensei's intention there. Planning to go for Nukido, some kind of waza. Oh, okay. So that was great. Eh? That's another. I don't know if I'd say Atoichi, but it's almost it is Renzoku waza because it's one after the other, but it's not your kind of standard Renzoku waza. What you have here is Yoshida Sensei makes actually a very good attempt at kote, right? A very good attempt at kote. Especially as he managed to get Kurita Sensei to think he was coming for men. So he kind of got those hands up, bam, and he hit that fantastic kote there. But it wasn't quite good enough for them to give Ippon. And just as Kurita Sensei is thinking, oh, that was a close one, he starts to withdraw. And Yoshida Sensei just doesn't let him get away. Okay, I think that's fantastic zanshin from Yoshida Sensei. Makes a strike, not successful, bam, makes the next one. It really is, obviously it's being switched on, but it is that kind of zanshin. It's not just about responding to your opponent's attack, yeah. It's about dealing with the situation with your opponent going forward, right? So, if they how they react after you've made a strike, you know what I'm saying? It's not just, oh well, if you attack and fail, then they might hit you back. That's part of it. But in this case, it's like, oh, I made an attack, wasn't successful, bam, next one. It's very easy to give up after the first one. Needs fantastic footwork as well, of course. So it's worth bearing in mind. A great example of a mini bomb. So you got Saga Sensei and Nabeyama Sensei. Nabeyama Sensei, of course, one of the favorites to win, the youngest competitor in the tournament, a teacher at Tsukuba University in Ibaraki. Very defensive plays. Of course, the new rules are in effect here because of the pandemic. The temporary rules to deal with that. Wow. What a beautiful Devanamen. It's a little bit unorthodox. What he's done is he managed to kind of show a very defensive posture here, which probably lured Saga Sensei into a bit of a false sense of security, because it looked like he was starting to lower the guard, and there Saga Sensei started to make a men strike straight away, but actually instead of just lowering the guard, he actually turned that straight into a men strike. Now you need incredibly flexible wrists and perfect tenuity to be able to do that. But wow, it resulted in that beautiful and perfect Devana men. Let's watch it one more time in full speed. Brilliant. Brilliant. Notice he wasn't, although he was making a defensive posture, yeah, which I know it's not, this posture is not very nice in lots of situations, but you notice that he's also closing the distance here as well. All right, this is a very weak position to be in if your feet are either stationary or you start to just lean back this way. But this isn't what's happening here. He is defending as he comes forward and then makes this perfect men strikes. It's a little bit different from the usual situation you see this this applied in. Followed by a beautiful Devana men. Same Shiai, same match. Lot of pressure in semi from Nabeyama Sensei, I can see. So here what he's managed to do quite effectively is control the Shiai in such a way where that his partner didn't realize he was at the edge of the Shiaijo. This is a bit of a grey area, if I'm honest. This is a bit of a grey area, and it's a little bit of a contradiction of the new, the temporary rules surrounding the pandemic, because they do actually say that once you get to Tsubazariai, you're supposed to separate straight away, and if both of you are separating and one of them actually steps out, you shouldn't give the hansoku. But obviously the Shimpan decided that wasn't the case in this specific instance, so that's how it is. Now, as I've said before, wow, look at that. As I've said before, when the match resets and you go back to the Kaishisen, that's the lines on the floor, that often represents a fantastic opportunity, because one or both players they reset and then they almost start again to feel that desire to make a valid strike, and that's what's happened here. Right away from restarting, obviously Saga Sensei is a point down, right, and he's going to want to take that back. He's probably aware that he's could be running out of time. So the interesting thing here is watch Nabeyama Sensei's body as he responds to Saga Sensei's men strike. Yeah, he starts to look like he's coming for men. This looks like he's coming for men. And Saga Sensei is like, yes, this is mine. I've got this. Yeah, I've got the initiative here. I'm taking this men. And look how he starts to come forward. But actually, it's men Kaishido, and it's perfect men Kaishido. The mistake lots of us make with this men Kaishido is we'll either stay still like this or lean back even to try and get that. But the key to men Kaishido is that forward movement. If you watch what Nabeyama Sensei did there, forward door this way. It's knocked the microphone. Yeah. So that's super important. If you watch that in full speed again, if you watch Nabeyama Sensei's body, he starts to move forward and hits that beautiful door strike. So it's textbook men Kaishido. Eiga Sensei again. This time we're in the semi-final with Takeuchi Sensei. Nice try for Kote. So you see, once they get to Tsubazariai, they have to separate. There's no... Once they're in there, they have to separate. There's a split second as they come together, they can make a strike. kote kaeshi men. Okay, so there's 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 an interaction here where they're both kind of lifting their hands a lot, and I think this is intentional on Eiga Sensei's part to try and encourage Takeuchi Sensei to come for his kote, so that he can see how he's like, come on for my kote. It almost gets there, right? But no, he's there with that kote kaeshi men. So really nice, really nice. You know, if your opponent is kind of doing this, you don't feel attracted to strike men, right? You're gonna want to hit kote. So I think that's part of the strategy that Eiga Sensei was employing there. Yoshida Sensei, Nabeyama Sensei in the next semi-final. Very high tension there between the two shinai. Not many chances to strike for either. Wow. So he really can. Nabeyama Sensei really can control the rhythm of this interaction. Yeah, he's controlling the distance and how they're going to interact with each other. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit, but if we go back here, all right, there's no real chance. They come together. They have to separate. Yeah, they have to separate. So they start to separate, relaxed, kamae, seme, and no chance, come together. Yeah, so they have to separate again. So they start to separate, relax, kamae, men. Okay, he sort of trained his opponent here into this kind of pattern of getting to Subazari, coming out. I'm not a threat. Okay. Oh, there's no chance. Okay. There's no chance. Let's go back again. Okay. Yeah. Relaxed. I'm not a threat. Yes, I am then. Yeah. And you know, Nabeyama Sensei is quite a tall guy. He's got real amazing men waza. So he's able to cover that distance very quickly. And yeah, he's able to make that fantastic men strike in that sort of timing. So yeah, a really interesting use. Very subtle semi. And here we are, the final. Eiga Sensei and Nabeyama Sensei. Eiga Sensei in red, of course. Okay, lots of tension. And again, they come together. They've got to separate. Oh, wow. What a beautiful Debanamen. Beautiful Debanamen. We'll just watch that one more time. Yeah. So here, Nabeyama Sensei makes a really bold step forward here. All right. And it's a bit similar to the one he did earlier, but from the more extreme position. But Eiga Sensei is kind of not really letting him get away with that. He's kind of holding his kamae a little bit stronger. And if you see, they both... Here's the key, right? You see how Nabeyama Sensei has made this bold step in? He needs to bring up his left foot to make his strike in, whereas Eiga Sensei doesn't. Eiga Sensei can go straight away. Yeah. So even though... The thing is Nabeyama Sensei's strike is technically faster, but it's missed the target. And I think it's because of this, right? If in real terms, maybe he didn't even need to do this. I know you see, I'm talking about his left foot here. I know his legs are very far apart, but as Eiga Sensei is going to come forward, he probably didn't necessarily need to make that step. But I think that was a slight falter in his mind of, I'm speculating, of course, but you know, where he didn't have perfect confidence in his strike, perhaps, that made him want that extra reassurance of getting his left leg up behind him, and unfortunately he hasn't been able to be successful, and he's just wavered and missed the strike, whereas Eiga Sensei's has been on target. So it's a beautiful men for Eiga Sensei. And then the next strike, and remember what I said about what happened before when they come back to the Kaisi in the beginning, and especially when you're a point down, you really want to get a point back, right? This is the final now. So, wow, what a beautiful Debana Kote. But a similar thing happens again. Nabiyama Sensei takes that big, bold step in here. And I think he's hoping that Eiga Sensei is going to come for that men strike again, and he's going to get this Debana men. But once again, as he steps in, he's got to make that small step in here with his left foot. But Eiga Sensei is already on his way down to his kote at that point. Yeah, and he makes that beautiful kote strike. So, two outstanding, fantastic, wonderful kendoka, and a fantastic display of perfect Debana waza from both parties there. An excellent collection of Ippon. Just really, really fantastic. It was a great taikai, always is. Really great to watch. And before we go, because that's all of them, I just want to address one more thing that I know has been a little bit controversial from this tournament. Okay, so this is from the video of the final itself. There's an occurrence of Hansoku that I know has generated a little bit of chat on the internet about it, a bit of speculation as to why the Hansoku was given. We'll look at it in a second, but the first thing I want to say is I'm only giving my opinion here on why I think a Hansoku is a penalty, by the way, and if you get two of them, your opponent scores a point. So I'm only giving my opinion as to why it was. It's impossible to know why without asking these senseis who are the Shimpan. So I haven't had the opportunity to talk to any of these senseis, of course, because, you know, like, they're in Japan, and I'm not at the minute, and it's not easy to get to Japan right now. But perhaps I'll ask Hamasaki Sensei, who's the Shushin here, actually, when I next get a chance, about this, and see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But let's watch the incident, and then we'll talk about what I think happened. So Nabiyama Sensei in white and Eiga Sensei facing the camera. Okay. So what happens here, of course, is following what just happened, a Gorgi is called. That's a meeting of the referees to discuss how they'll carry out the situation. The players will return, and then the referees will signal, and they're giving the Hansoku to Nabiyama Sensei, okay? Nabiyama Sensei. So, under normal circumstances, this is Eiga Sensei's Hansoku for dropping the Shinai. Okay, this is normally Eiga Sensei's Hansoku for dropping the Shinai. Now, the two explanations I've seen for this, like on social media, one is the one I agree with, which is that it's a violation by Nabiyama Sensei of the temporary rules surrounding the pandemic, and the other is that it's because Nabiyama Sensei intentionally struck the Shinai out of his hands without following it up with a waza. I don't think it's that, and I'll explain why first. So let's just have another quick look at what actually happened, okay? And then we'll talk about the idea of why I don't think it could be Hansoku for forcing the partner to drop the Shinai. Okay, so they go to Tsubazari, he strikes the Shinai, and then he immediately makes to make a strike. All right, but he doesn't have the chance to. Okay, there's nowhere in the rules that says that that's not allowed. Okay, in fact, quite the opposite is written. It's a Hansoku to drop the Shinai, and it's only a Hansoku, and this is written in this book here. I'm not sure if that's on the camera there. In this book here, this is the subsidiary guidelines, the tebiki, that's only available in Japanese, but it does actually say in here that on page 24, okay, there's a kind of question and answer section, and it says that if one of the players strikes the Shinai hard, and the opponent drops the Shinai, is it the Hansoku for the player that dropped the shinai or the player that struck the shinai to make them drop it. And they give two answers. They say, one, if it's basically part of the usual kind of back and forth of the shiai of Kendo, then it's Hansoku for the person that dropped the shinai. And it's only Hansoku for the person if the person who hit the shinai, if it's clear that his only and sole intention was to beat the shinai out of the hand, which in this case, that's obviously not the case. Yeah. He made the strike and then he went to make another strike. Okay, so it's there to stop you maliciously striking at your opponent's shinai with the sole aim of them to drop it. But one move, pam, this way, and then to make another strike, to go to make a strike is not Hansoku for you. It's for them for dropping the shinai. All right, so I just don't see that. All right, so unless these Shimpan have said, yeah, we did it for that, and it's their prerogative to decide that. But if they come out and said somewhere to somebody, this is how we've interpreted the rules written in there, then I just don't see that being how that Hansoku was applied in this case. More likely, the temporary rules surrounding the pandemic say that if you come to Tsubazeriai, you must separate. Okay, so if the players come together, they must instantly be a strike, or they must agree to mutually separate. Okay, now let's watch one more time with that in context. Okay, they come to here, they're at Tsubazeriai. Okay, now he must strike. He didn't strike. Okay, his window of opportunity to make a fair strike under the temporary rules has passed. Okay, now he goes to make a strike, and this has been clearly labeled as Hansoku by the All Japan Confederation in the context of the temporary rules. Okay, they made quite a big thing saying, once you come to Tsubazeriai, you can't do Hikiwaza. All right, you've got one split second as you come together to make a kind of momentary strike. You can't get to Tsubazeriai and then start to make aggressive actions, and that's what's happened here. All right, so I'm really strongly of the opinion that that appears to be what's happened, and it's pretty clear cut. But if I'm not denying the fact that, I wasn't there, and I certainly haven't spoken to any of the Shimpan. So if somebody's spoken to the Shimpan and they've said the opposite, then that's fine. But they've obviously decided to sort of work around the wording of this a little bit different to how it's usually done. So that's that. Okay. I hope that was enjoyable. I thought there's some fantastic CI there. All of the Ippons from the whole tournament are on the All Japan Kendo Federation channel, so definitely go and watch that. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, shop at KendoStar. See you all next time. Bye bye.